Let's go to Matt Kibbe now. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Glenn. How are you?
Well, it's been a pretty amazing week.
Man.
It's interesting times.
Yes, it makes you anxious about everything, but it also makes you want to fight just a little bit harder. That's sort of where I'm at.
It does. Me too. If you give up now, with everything you know now, just the stuff you've learned maybe this week, if you are not motivated to get up, shame on you. Because this is your children's, this is our future just going out the window. This is freedom of thought going out the window. You did a documentary called The Coverup. This is episode 2. It was released this week. It's fantastic. And the one guy that was standing really against Fauci was Rand Paul. And I mean, he went for him because he was a doctor and he knew. Tell me what happens in The Coverup Part 2.
So, Rand also was targeted by the censors, and it's outrageous to think about a U.S. senator being censored by the Biden White House and their tech company lackeys. But he had a platform that other people that were censored did not, which is the hearings where he starts asking Fauci questions, and then Fauci prevaricates, and Rand asks tougher questions, and then Fauci misinforms, and ultimately Fauci called Senator Rand Paul a liar on the Senate hearing floor, and it just made Rand want to dig deeper and deeper. And as you dig into this, you realize that Fauci is not acting alone, and the reason that him and his partners, particularly his consigliere David Morans, are so untouchable is that their bosses are throughout the alphabet agencies that make up the defense and intelligence community. And that's what we're trying to get at in this episode. Who is Fauci's boss? Is he a made man? Is he untouchable? Why, after we've caught him red-handed lying about using taxpayer money to fund gain-of-function research, why has nothing happened? Why is David Morans
deeper than that, though, Matt? Deeper than that. He's not just used taxpayer money to do this and lied about it. He may be directly responsible for the death of everyone on the planet from COVID.
That's right. And that's sort of, Rand at this point, like everyone thinks, he's out to get Fauci. He's gonna make Fauci pay for his lies. We talk about this in this episode. This is so much bigger than Fauci. It's not about vengeance. It's not about retribution. It's about the fact that everything that we've accused them of is still going on today. They've finally stopped funding EcoHealth Alliance. That is a huge step in the right direction, but it's a little bit of a whack-a-mole. All of this gain-of-function research on far more deadly viruses, they're going to make them weaponized to reach humans. And they have no humility on this stuff. They don't consider the consequences of what they're doing, and that's why we have to hold them accountable. It's why every American needs to know, because right now Rand is fighting a fairly lonely fight. He's finally gotten the Democratic committee chairman to allow hearings on this subject, but most people, and certainly the political class, are like, let's just move on. That was so long ago. Let's talk about something else. Well, of course they want to talk about something else because they all have blood on their hands, literally.
They don't think that they need to stop, though, Matt. I think that's the most agonizing part about all of this. How we see that Anthony Fauci is out on the surface, but how deep does this go? And do you believe that he's still playing a part in this?
By the way, you're listening to the voice of Jill Savage from Real News Tonight, who's sitting in for Stu today.
Hey, Jill. I think, first of all, I think that Fauci is still on the payroll, and I'm sure we can never prove that point. But I also think, and we talk about this, Rand says that 15 different federal agencies were keenly aware of the diffuse proposal, which is basically the roadmap to create COVID-2, and nobody said anything. A CIA whistleblower exposes the fact that 6 out of 7 agencies said, yeah, this probably came from a lab. and they were overruled by CIA bosses. So this goes deep, deep, deep into the military intelligence industrial complex, and this is where oversight becomes very complicated. Rand gets no answers. He gets fully redacted documents, and the hope here, and I'm going to get into this in future episodes, is that there are citizen sleuths who know how to dig deep into the internet and get the facts. And I think we're going to need ultimately a bottom-up strategy to complement what Rand Paul and Thomas Massie and everybody else that's trying to do this on the inside are fighting for.
We're talking about the Coverup. It's episode 2 of a series about what happened in COVID and how deeply this goes. And you can watch the latest installment in the series. Go to blazetv.com/Glenn. Use the promo code Fauci Lied, and you'll save $30 off an annual subscription. How concerned are you, Matt, with what we've just learned yesterday about the manipulation of American citizens by the White House, manipulating them into changing their mind and, being quiet about, he's not fit to serve. So not only did they tell us lies that he was fit to serve, if you questioned it, they found you online and then targeted you. Then on top of that, you have Tulsi Gabbard this week being declared a domestic terrorist and has a team of bomb-sniffing dogs at every airport she goes into, and at least 3 people for the TSA monitoring her and 2 on the plane. We are becoming 1984 quickly.
Not to be too hyperbolic, first of all, I'm not surprised at all. And second of all, it looks a lot like the way I've watched Venezuela devolve into this brutal dictatorship under Maduro as he clings to power. And to think about it in a way that people can understand, I think this goes all the way back, at least to the Tea Party, when people had better access to information and they had more power because they could self-organize and they could discover that their politicians weren't telling them the truth. And the tactics have escalated since then. The empire is fighting back. And this, to me, in one sense, is completely Orwellian. It's very much Matrix-level stuff. But on the other hand, it looks very desperate. And I think that they're having a hard time trying to figure out how to stop so many people with so much power and so much information. And they're desperate now. And I think if we keep exposing it, it helps us because it empowers people to realize that they can fight back.
It is so desperate that they took a concert crowd and then dressed the stage real quick. They were there for a concert, then handed out some Harris, waltz posters, and did a campaign rally. No, that was a hijacking of a concert audience. And they're trying to image that there's this huge grassroots movement behind Harris and Walz when it's not that. And they're getting away with it because nobody in the press would say that was a concert. Most of the people were there for a concert. They didn't know that this was a Harris. They just took that over. That's real desperation.
Trying to think of that Jim Carrey movie when he discovers that he's living in a simulation.
Truman Show.
The Truman Show. That's what it feels like right now as you watch them roll out the new Kamala Harris. Right? It's a show, and the question is that an effective way to persuade people? They're not going to let her talk about policy. They're probably not going to let her go off script at all.
Correct.
And they're going to try to produce this show from the outside. But again, people have more power, and when I say people, I'm talking about people that are paying attention. And it's always at the margin. It's the one person that speaks up. It's the one person at a town hall meeting. That the rules are the same, even when you're online engaged in the technological world, and we just don't let them win. we keep fighting.
If everyone in this audience right now, if every single person right now listening, watching, viewing it, however you're viewing it, would commit that you are going to vote, come hell or high water, no excuses, you will vote. Just this audience could play the difference between a win and a loss. It's that narrow, and it just requires people getting up and doing it. Matt, thank you so much. I appreciate all of your hard work and always standing up for the truth and not playing, politics with it. I appreciate it. It's Blaze TV host Matt Kibbe of Kibbe on Liberty. He's also the president of Free the People, and his documentary Episode 2 is out right now on the Coverup. You just use the promo code Fauci lied at blazetv.com. Use that promo code and you're going to save $30 off your annual subscription. Do that now. There's so many reasons to join us.